with an appearance from Snoop Dogg for a free all-ages event to Jim Belushi and Pauly Shores. It's safe to say tonight is a night that Ontario will never forget. In Ontario, Natasha Williams, 6 on your side. The new law will mean that drivers will have to move to the side of the road for Idaho transportation and traffic workers, even if they're not moving.
A breaking news situation out of Boise State tonight as a call came in at 7 p.m. for a fire breaking out in the engineering building. Now, as you can see behind me, across Manitou Avenue,
all of the meal plan options here on the Boise State campus will give you access to resident dining halls like right here in the BRC. But if you pay an extra $7, you can get one of these, which means you can have your lunch and take it home with you. People here at the Comm Building aren't the only ones who have noticed Boise State's goose problem. Other places have noticed it too. Like right here.
Smartwatches like this one are great for tracking your exercise, your heart rate, and even your sleep. Student athletes use them all the time for their training. But in the classroom, students and teachers alike say they're a bit of a distraction.
The need for speed is real down here at Firebird Raceway. You can smell the gasoline, the burnt rubber of the tires, and of course, the speed down here is ridiculous. We've seen snowmobiles that beat out motorcycles and cars moving at wild speeds beyond 100 miles per hour. Now, the thing I've been most impressed with is a 6-year-old kid is racing on this track, and he's nothing short of extraordinary.
Several events, 2 brothers, 1 college. Twin brothers off the field, forces to be reckoned with on the field. Andre and Adrian Jones say now that not even college can tear them apart.
Now it is an electric atmosphere here in Ontario, Oregon for the grand opening of Hotbox Farms, Ontario's newest marijuana dispensary. Now up tonight we're going to have Snoop Dogg, we're going to have Jim Belushi, and an unconfirmed artist that has not yet been announced yet. This is going to be a rad night. It's going to be completely high energy, and as you can see behind me, record-breaking numbers. Thousands of people are packing this place just to get a chance to see Snoop Dogg. The event is free, it's all ages, and we are told that Snoop Dogg will make an appearance at 7 o'clock tonight. Live in Ontario, Natasha Williams, 6 on your side.
And as of right now, we have learned that fire has been extinguished, but no official cause has been named. We will continue to have the latest details on this story and many others affecting the Boise State campus and the Treasure Valley on air, online, and on mobile at 6onyourside.com. Reporting live in Boise, I'm Natasha Williams, 6 on your side.
Hi Karen, I'm live from Story Park, and the parade is just minutes away from kicking off. As you can see behind me, parade goers are already lining up on the sides of the streets, and it's a really exciting atmosphere down here. There's been carnival rides and foods and of course animals.
I've definitely had close calls.
As an incident response technician for the Idaho Transportation Department, Kyle Wright knows better than anyone how dangerous the side of the road can be.
It's pretty scary when they're not paying attention to you and they're not trying to give us room to work safely.
Idaho state law requires drivers to move over 1 lane and slow down below the posted speed limit when they see first responders with flashing lights on the side of the road. But the current law doesn't account for people like Kyle.
Really, anybody that's working on the side of the road is in a really dangerous area.
Starting July 1st, that all changes.
The new law will mean that drivers will have to move to the side of the road for Idaho transportation and traffic workers, even if they're not moving.
It's a small change Kyle hopes will have a big impact.
And I think it will help. I think the more people talk about it and are aware of it, hopefully it will, save people some danger.
In order to protect everyone out on the road. Natasha Williams, 6 on your side.
A stretch of Highway 21 between Stanley and Lowman remains closed tonight. The Idaho Transportation Department decided to close the road to traffic Saturday due to heavy snow in the mountains, leaving avalanche concerns. Any drivers passing through the mountains will need to plan accordingly. To check the latest closures and conditions, you can always go to 511.idaho.gov or click the link in this story on our website, 6onyourside.com.
Welcome to Boise State in the Community. I'm your host, Natasha Williams. Now, Boise State in the Community is not not just a show, and it's not just a class. It's a service learning class, and part of our service learning is we get to bring in esteemed guests from Boise State's movers and shakers, and tell their stories. Now, my guest today has been teaching in the public sector for nearly a decade. She is partnering with grad students to better science education, and she had the opportunity to turn a hobby of hers into an actual class here at Boise State.
A local nonprofit is seeing something a little unusual for this time of year. St. Vincent de Paul normally sees a drop-off in donations in January, but this year they've seen a surge. The executive director says they partially attribute the trend to a new Netflix series, which started in the beginning of January, called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. As part of the show, Kondo goes into people's homes to help them declutter their lives, and it seems like others here are following suit.
Welcome to Boise State in the Community. I'm your host, Natasha Williams. Now, here at Boise State in the Community, we're not just a television show, and we're not just a class, we're a service learning class. And as part of our service learning, we get to bring on esteemed guests from Boise State to talk about their work here in Boise and, of course, outside of Boise State. Now, my guest today has spent lots of time researching refugees here in Boise, and he's changing the way that we're looking at teaching UF 200. Additionally, he's also spent years at Washington State Penitentiary.
Well, Boise Staple is going to see some improvements. The famous Smurf turf at Boise State will be refreshed this year.